What's happening, YouTube? You're in the building currently with just one member of the Life Gang Avengers of Current Culture. It's your boy, Lamont Tyson, trying to help you guys get them life gains. And we're going to get started on this day with a whole lot of subjects we're going to cover. We've got news on Marvel's Blade. Uh-oh. We've got somebody in the building. It's the little Larry on TBS time. Living legend. How you feel?
Hey, it's 9 o'clock. I still checked in on time.
Yeah, you did. You didn't get to 9:01. So, my brother, I'm just letting them know what we're talking about today. We've got a little bit of Blade. We figured out what's going on with Blade. We got to discuss that. Oh, boy. Derek Chauvin and his lawyers are trying to get this man a retrial. Damn. And
well, we knew that was going to happen. We knew they were going to try and get him a retrial. So
yeah, but the way they're going about trying to push the narrative in certain news outlets, just straight up lying, is what makes it it just makes it grotesque. So we got to talk about that. Me and Larry foretold on this very channel about 4 weeks ago with E-Man and B. Avery. We foretold y'all what we had seen from a Netflix investor meeting. We foretold y'all that Netflix is going to start trying to put up their own movie theaters and are going to start leasing other. Every time we say something, it happens. So right here on the show right now, I'm foretelling me and Larry by the end of this year are going to be in a TV network deal, and we're going to have at least $250,000 reserved in our bank account. How you feeling about that, my brother?
I like that. I like that a lot. And I feel like someone should just go ahead, hit us up, give us that deal so we can get our show going, you know. Put us on ABC in the morning or in the evening, or no, I guess we'd be an afternoon talk show or something. We're not too bad, you know.
Yeah.
We'll even do radio if you want to. We'll even do radio. We can play a couple songs an hour.
Yeah, you know? We can do a tammed up on radio. I mean, like I said, forget the Breakfast Club. You need some new blood out here on these streets, and that's me and Larry.
They can. How about this? We can keep the Breakfast Club. We'll come in on the weekends and do the Brunch Club.
That's what we can do. 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 We'll keep everybody. Everybody get to work. We'll just be the weekend cleanup hitters. That's what we'll do.
There we go. So, I like it.
So we've already got a super chat. Look, let me tell y'all something. This is my homie Buzz right here, 703.
703.
And he done came through with a super chat. And he sent me something that we're going to have to discuss Friday. Anybody that's listening to the sound of my voice, I encourage you, join me on Instagram. DM me good stories. DM me good things that you guys hear so that I can get it up here for everybody else to enjoy as well. And for Buzz, for this super chat, getting this party started, let me give you this one right here. This one always makes me laugh.
Anthony, give me a boy's name that starts with the letter H.
Jose.
Jose with an H.
and Buzz, just for you, I got a question for you. We're gonna do Hood Family Feud real quick on this show. Hood Family Feud. Buzz, I surveyed 100 people in the hood. What is the #1 flavor of Kool-Aid in the hood? First one.
I know this one.
Oh Lord, Larry, you don't get to do that. Okay. Great. Oh, hell no. Great. No. But Buzz, what hood you? Oh my God. Larry, what's the answer, Larry?
Red.
It don't matter. It don't matter if it's strawberry. It don't matter if it's cherry. It's just got to be red.
It's red.
That is the #1 answer in the hood. Red Kool-Aid is the #1 answer.
Oh man. You know what? I gotta give a shout out to Stephen Haskins up here. He did a super chat, but he said, Larry, don't let them try to silence you. Killmonger is king. There, you know, that's what I'm saying right there. That is what I was talking about
now,
right there.
He do know I can not only silence him, but I can silence you too on this show. Y'all keep talking that crazy foolishness about Killmonger.
You can't shut me down. Killmonger is king. Wakanda forever.
Yeah. All right, people, let's go ahead and dive on into these stories, man, so we can get you people in and out. The good brother, B. Avery, is going to be coming through in a little bit. He wants to break down some of these stories. Larry, you know who this guy is right here?
Yeah, that's dickhead of the decade.
Well, one of them anyway.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you believe that his attorney is trying to get him a mistrial? And on Fox News, they're perpetuating something that's not even true. So one of the jurors, this guy right here, give it a second to pull on up. What they're trying to say on Fox News is that this juror showed up at a Black Lives Matter protest in favor of George Floyd. So they've been using this picture. This guy went on the radio to say this was not a Black Lives Matter protest. This was celebrating the March on Washington in D.C. And let me read to you guys the full story real quick. One major complication in the trial, however, is the recent revelation that one of the jurors lied about ever attending a Black Lives Matter rally, which was one of the questions asked during the jury selection process. A photo of Brandon Mitchell, one of the jurors who found Derek Chauvin guilty, attended an August 28 rally, has recently resurfaced. Specifically, he was donning a shirt that read, "Get your knee off our necks," and BLM, with the first statement directly referencing the fatal incident between George Floyd and Derek Chauvin. George Floyd's siblings, Felice and Bridget Floyd, also spoke at this event. And here's the rest of it, ladies and gentlemen. The revelations complicate Chauvin's guilty verdict because it suggests that Brandon Mitchell was not fully honest during the jury selection. From a legal standpoint, this calls his impartiality into question and opens the door for Chauvin's defense team to claim that he received an unfair trial. This is on account of the jurors' neutrality being a cornerstone concept behind being entitled to a jury of your peers. So when that surfaced, Larry, Fox News ran with it. They ran before even talking to the boy to see what rally he was at. They ran with it. Now, if it had been legit, I would say, you know what? As heinous as Derek Chauvin was, you would have to do what you're supposed to do for justice. Hold on, let me get B. Avery in here. But Larry, he was at a March on Washington rally. That's where he was at.
This was before the trial, correct?
Right. And to further buffer something, let's just think about this for what it is, Larry. If you live in America and they tried to pull this flim-flam too, because this is not the only allegation Chauvin's team is trying to put together. They're also trying to say that if you've seen any news coverage and then you got on this jury, you're wrong too. Larry, if you live in America, you have a TV. You've seen what happened. I mean, unless you're in some stronghold on the Amish community, you saw what the hell happened. And yeah, I'm gonna give it to you after this, Larry.
Yeah, I mean that. Go ahead.
So many of our Black brothers and sisters who didn't or could not afford counsel have had these loopholes in the justice system come up, and what happens with them? They get nothing. 92% of our folks who try to get a retrial for something legitimate can't get it. And you mean to tell me that y'all trying to copy and paste this brother for being at a March on Washington protest by saying he's in a Black Lives Matter protest? Go ahead and try that, Fox, but it's not going to work here. Larry, I give the floor to you. But before I do, B. Avery in the building, my people. Show that man some love. Subscribe to his channel. He keep his hair fresh and cut, and he does not have a receding hairline like LeBron James. But go ahead, Larry.
Yeah, this one's probably not going to be popular to say, but I'm going to be honest with you, man. When I heard that he might have been at a rally, that didn't bother me so much. But when I see that photo where he's wearing that shirt that says "Get your knee off our necks," that to me says that he may have already had a presumption of guilt for this guy. That he might have already went into that trial with a predetermined, idea of guilt against the defendant. I'll be honest with you. When I first heard this that he went to a rally, I wasn't thinking, okay, whatever, big deal. He's wearing a BLM. He went to a BLM rally, and when I first heard it, they were saying, oh, he was wearing a BLM shirt, and I was like, so what? No big deal. I mean, all kinds of people wear Black Lives Matter shirts. But when you see it says your knee off our necks, and you're going into the trial for the cop who had a knee on the guy's neck, where that saying came from, that says to me that there's some that really does say to me he might not be impartial. And it's unfortunate because I'm thinking, as important of a trial as this is, I know he was probably thinking, oh, I'm going to help secure a conviction, but not probably being not having a full understanding of how the judicial system works. He probably didn't realize, oh, there's going to be multiple appeals, and when they find this, it's going to be grounds for an appeal. He probably should have said, no, I've attended rallies, or I've worn shirts or something, and allowed himself to be dismissed off that jury. Because now it looks like they're gonna. If I'm the panel of judges that's making the decision on the appeal, and I see this photo, I'm gonna grant the guy a new trial.
Yeah, Larry, it looks bad. However, even though "Get your knee off my neck" might be the phrase associated with Derek Chauvin, there were T-shirts printed prior to George Floyd that was already saying "Get your knee off my neck," and the shirt has Martin Luther King on it.
But just because you change the photo up doesn't necessarily mean you're not talking about that case. Because yes, I understand people
hold on, Larry. True, but it don't necessarily mean that you are either. Because I've seen these T-shirts prior, but I will give you this: the optics look horrible. I give you that. It looks horrible, and considering the inequality and justice in this country, I'm kind of like, dude, you should have went through and checked your social media before you got on that trial, because they're looking for anything to get this boy off. But go ahead, Larry.
I would if I had to go and if I was called to jury duty and they called me and they've asked me, have you said or done anything that would make you impartial? I would say, look, I have the ability to be impartial, but I'm sure if you go check YouTube, you're going to find all kinds of stuff that would say otherwise, And right. I would just, because I would not want to go into a trial and then help somebody who's clearly guilty get convicted and then have that conviction overturned because of something silly that I did, like not acknowledging that I've said some really biased things, some really impartial things. And so I just
here's another issue I have with this is, just by the very nature of us being human, everybody comes to every position with a tinge of bias. It's just how much integrity do you have in coming to a decision? Examples: police officers, judges. Every damn judge sitting on a bench votes for one party or the other, Democratic or Republican. But you are supposed to absolve yourself of those biases for your party to uphold justice, the Constitution, and the rule of law. Do we all think that their asses is really on that? All of them? Hell no. But at the same time,
here's the difference.
But at the same time, you shouldn't be out here showing some kind of implicit bias, which gives someone an opportunity to put something back on a retrial.
But here's the go ahead, Brandon.
I was just gonna say I didn't see that picture until right before I hopped on.
Okay.
So this is news to me. It does look bad. However, the act of having a knee on somebody's neck, isn't that an illegal act in itself? So I mean, it could be justified. I just don't know. I don't. I'm concerned. Also, I mean, this is good and bad to me. You know, the fact that, I mean, you know, they was gonna, you know, file for appeals, but, you know, it lets me know that they knew they're screwed. Chauvin, you know, as far as the sentencing is concerned, whenever that comes up. But I don't know. I mean, do y'all really think that they can get a retrial just because of this?
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Man, for white, okay, let me check myself here. For certain individuals in this country, I've seen far less than this get them a retrial. Larry, what was that little girl? They convicted her daddy of killing the mama and abusing the little girl. I forgot, dude, but he got a retrial over some bull job about the knife that they used to say that he killed his family was not made by the same company. So he got a retrial, got off, only to come back and find out later that it was really the same knife. It was just made by some other company. So I've seen far less than this happen. So I'm nervous.
I mean, the reality of it is that, I mean, I know what you're saying, that people have talked about get your knee off my neck or whatever, or your knee, but that wasn't really the same. The saying was get your boot off my neck. The whole get your knee off my neck came more specific to George Floyd. And so for them to put that out there, I mean, look, here's the thing. You may have watched the news. You may have worn a BLM t-shirt. You may have gone to a BLM rally. But to wear a shirt with that specific messaging says that you have a very specific set of feelings about this issue. And when you went into that jury room or stood up there in front of those attorneys and answered those questions, you didn't reveal that. And you had photo evidence out there on the web of that. And now, as a consequence, this man who murdered George Floyd may end up getting off because of your I don't know what he thought it was. I don't know what he thought it was, just arrogance. No one's going to catch me. So what, I wore the shirt. No one's going to find out. I mean, this is the internet age. People find out anything. If you post a photo, I mean, people don't realize they have something called the Wayback Machine, where you can go back and type in a date in a website and it will pull up basically screenshots of those websites going back decades. You can't hide from anything. It's out there. And
so are we at a point now, Larry, that anyone who wears a Black Lives Matter shirt, get your knee off my neck shirt, if there's a cop and you've worn that, you've gone to a protest, which is a right you have, are we at the point where no one who wears that type of stuff can be on these trials?
No, and that's not what I'm saying at all. Because like I said, if it was just that the guy went to a BLM rally, not an issue for me. If he had just worn a BLM t-shirt, not an issue for me. But the fact that he was sitting on what's the dude's name? Derek Chauvin, because he was sitting on this Derek Chauvin trial as a juror, and he's seen wearing a shirt that says, get your knee off my neck, which is specifically referencing the crime that Derek Chauvin committed. I mean, it's not a matter of just saying I support this particular movement, because BLM and Derek Chauvin have nothing to do with one another. The dude killed a black man. Yes, BLM is out there protesting people getting killed, but Derek Chauvin killing this man had nothing to do with BLM. And for the guy to wear a BLM t-shirt does not exclude him from being an impartial juror. It shouldn't exclude him from serving on the jury. It should not be the means or the impetus for them granting a new trial. However, for him to wear a shirt that says, get your knee off my neck, with that specific reference to Derek Chauvin, that is a problem. And I have to say, if I was a judge, especially as a black man, or even just as a regular human being who believes in law and order and justice, it would break my heart to have to grant them a new trial. But as someone who does believe in law and order, and that's the reason why us black people are out there protesting. We're not saying we want to be above the law. We just say we want to have equal justice in this country. And with that being said, I would have to grant this dude a new trial. It would break my heart to do so.
I don't know if y'all know, what is the public response to this this news, this shirt? I mean, what are the majority of the people saying? Are they on the fence? Are they like, oh, this is BS, or retrial? Do y'all know?
My wife saw an interview with the guy when they asked him about this stuff, and he's saying that this wasn't a Black Lives Matter rally he was at, because that's the way they was trying to push the argument. He's saying he was at a commencement rally for March on Washington, is what he's saying. And there are people that are saying the same thing I said. The knee on the neck this is not the first time we've had people wearing this t-shirt. Hell, I got a t-shirt in my closet. That wasn't
the expression. That was not the expression.
I get that. But I've got a t-shirt in my closet that was made before George Floyd. It says, "Get your knee off my neck." It just so happens that this logo, this phrase, did stick with Derek Chauvin.
Well, my understanding, the expression has always been, "Get your boot off my neck."
Well, that ain't what my t-shirt says. My t-shirt specifically says, "Get your knee off my neck."
No, that's cool. I mean, people have different. Some of these expressions get moved, and there's variations of it. And if that's an expression people use, "Get your knee off my neck," it's always been, from my understanding, it was "Get your boot off my neck." But hey, that's one of those things. If it's been that, it's been that, and maybe it's just a coincidence that the guy had the shirt on.
I think it's going to be okay.
You said what?
I think everything's gonna be okay.
We'll see.
B. Avery, seriously, you're talking about a white cop in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna see. We'll
prepare to have your heart broken.
They don't want the heat right now, man. They're just gonna have to take this L. And
they don't need the heat right now. They can wait 3 months until it calms down, and then go ahead and quietly look at that dude that killed the guy, and that cop that killed the dude and was just put up on murder. They let him go and gave him his job back.
Yeah, I think we're gonna be all right.
We'll see. It's for my boy Will Lawrence, who done came through with us. B. Avery, would you believe we did a live show, an hour and 10 minutes Monday? Ask me how many super chats I got.
How many super chats did you get?
I got one, and guess why I got that one?
Why is that?
Because Larry begged like Keith Sweat for it.
Oh, really? Okay. Already.
So for my man Will Lawrence, I appreciate you. I'm gonna give you this to say thank you.
What, you don't think I can write them books? Just because I'm blind don't mean I'm dumb.
How could this have happened? A black white supremacist.
Show us your face. We want to see your face. Who said that? You want to see my face? Clayton, go on, brother.
He was the only Negro we'd ever had around here. So we figured we'd make it easier on Clayton by just telling him and all the other blind kids that he was white.
Don't be afraid.
Will Lawrence, I appreciate you, my brother, man. We love the super chats, and when we get those type of super chats, man, you give me time to encourage other people like you, my subscribers, to make them life gains. Get on YouTube, get going in the stock market. We really appreciate that. Nita the Diva's in the house, my people. Be sure to check her channel out. B. Avery, this is a subject that we're going to do. We're getting into the TV movie type subjects now. And before go ahead, Larry.
I know you were about to move on, man, but I feel like we hadn't totally finished out the other subject. And I just wanted to say to people that this whole thing with this trial is another example of why us as black people have to be above reproach. We cannot go into the public eye and not be twice as good. Because if we're not, something as important as this conviction can get overturned. And I know B. Avery thinks we're going to be okay, but after seeing that shirt, I don't care about the rally. They're focusing on the rally. The rally is not important to me. What's important to me is the messaging on that shirt. And I do believe that's enough that I think a judge that, because I mean, these things are it's going to be a panel of judges that are going to look at this, and we're likely going to have a panel of white judges in the whitest state in this union that is going to go, well, one of the whitest states, and they're going to go and they're going to look at this and they're going to say, I think this juror might have been biased from the beginning, and I think that's going to be enough for them to throw the conviction out, and they may not let him go free, but I think he might earn a new trial.
I don't know what you mean by twice as good. Black people got to be twice as good, but
I mean, I'm sure you've heard the expression, you need to be twice as good to get to the same place. That's one of those expressions black people have been told for the longest time. But what I mean is you have to be above reproach. You can't even have the appearance of impropriety. You have to be squeaky clean. And if you go in there and you know that you've worn a shirt like this, you know that you have some bias that's been put out into the universe, then you have to say it. You have to express that and let it be known and allow yourself to be excused and have another juror on there that may not be biased, that may not have put that stuff out in the universe, so that we can get this conviction. Because now, because of that, it's likely this, I mean, they might try him again and he might be convicted all over again. But it's going to have, that means the whole country is going to have to go through this again. It means that people are going to be pissed off, and you're going to probably see all kinds of people feeling all sorts of way when they realize this thing has been overturned. And they're going to have to send the family through this and all this again because this guy wasn't up front. And we don't know how the result of another trial may go. And that's what I mean, that you have to be above reproach. Now imagine this. Imagine that Derek Chauvin had gone on trial and he was acquitted. He was let go. And then a couple weeks later, we find out that one of the jurors had photos of him wearing a Blue Lives Matter shirt and he's at a Trump rally. Now, imagine that we find that out. Well, guess what?
If you're really going to use that as your barometer, then there's a whole lot of retrials that should be going on right the hell now.
I'm not even denying that. There should be a lot of retrials happening right now. But imagine that you go out, imagine that a few weeks after the trial, we see that one of the jurors has a Blue Lives Matter shirt on, and he's at a Trump rally, and now there is no retrial. There is no throwing that out because as a defendant, there's double jeopardy. You can't try him again. It's done. So now we would have no recourse. But I mean, because he is a defendant, he is convicted, he can appeal and have a new trial if they decide to grant him one. But if it had happened in the reverse, we would have been asked out as a country and as a community. We wouldn't have had any recourse. They would have found him not guilty, and then we wouldn't have been able to say or do anything, and he likely would have gotten his job back. He would have had the union sue on his behalf, and he would have got his job back and with back pay. And so I think it's one of those things. It is of the utmost importance that when you go to sit on a jury, that you are honest, even if that means you get excused.
We'll see. We'll follow it. We'll keep you abreast. All right, B. Avery, I'm gonna come to you first on this one because I'm obviously too young. They're remaking Cleopatra Jones. Now, I've never even seen the first one, so I'm kind of out on this one. So I would be for a reboot because I've never seen the first one. But let me read you guys what's going on. In Hollywood Reporter, they're going to be doing, for this next project, Lovecraft Country and Snowfall Rider, I don't want to butcher that name, will be penning the script for the Warner Brothers and Charles D. King micro-back reboot of Cleopatra Jones. The original film debuted in 1973. Damn, I wasn't even a zygote in 73. Amid the height of the black exploitation era.
Black exploitation.
Yeah. Starred Tamara Dobson, who worked as an undercover government agent. She used her daytime job as a supermodel to go undercover. Okay. Travel to exotic places and get involved in the war on drugs. This revival also isn't news, as Lovecraft Country series creator Misha Green was initially set to pen the script when it first was announced, back in 2017. B. Avery, how do you feel about the people that are going to be remaking this story?
Well, yeah, if it's the Lovecraft Country people, I'm down because I really did like the series. It was very compelling, and so if they're going to be attached to it, hey, I'm with it. I kind of feel like you, though. I mean, I'm even younger than you, so I did not see the first Cleopatra Jones. I had to actually Google it before I hopped on here real quick, just to make sure it wasn't something else that I thought. But if you got a black woman, you know, looking like that with a fro, because I love them afros. It's just sexy as hell to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if she going around as a supermodel by day and kicking ass at night, hey, I mean, that is a win all across the board. So I'm there. First row, first opening night.
She's a supermodel by day, and she bending Negroes over, spanking them on the butt by night. I get down with that program. Larry, did you see the first movie? And what do you think about a remake from the people that wrote scripts on Lovecraft and Snowfall?
I did see the first movie. I can't remember the specifics of it because it was so long ago, but I remember liking the movie. I saw it long after it came out because when it came out, I was like 3 years old. So, but I mean, if you guys haven't watched some of these blaxploitation movies, you have to go check them out. They are fantastic. I mean, movies like Cleopatra Jones, Foxy Brown, you know, Cooley High. So all those Rudy Ray Moore movies, there are some seriously dope movies. I mean, mind you, some of them are fairly low budget, but and for the time they were still sort of low budget even for the time, but it was one of those things where you're seeing really talented black filmmakers and directors make the most out of what they have. And, you know, like check out some of the movies made by, what's his name's dad? Oh God. I just blanked on his name right now. Anyways, I'll have to look him up and tell you later, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I feel like these are movies that black people in the community have a lot of respect for and will be careful not to mess up. So I think they'll be. It's sort of like the Melvin Van Peebles. Bucky put that out there. Melvin Van Peebles. That's what I was trying to think of.
Mario Van Peebles' daddy.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he made some really great movies out there.
Oh,
there we go.
Lord, sweet November. I thought you left us until November. We haven't seen you in so long. Coming through with the huge super chat. Hey guys, only one super chat last night, Dane. Let me bless you guys, man. We're thankful. So let me bless you too. Let me bless you too with something. Oh yeah, this one's always a funny one.
Not the certain type of care though. What's she gonna do that look? Got a little potato. She trying to stuff it up. Balls deep on y'all. Oh, no, girl, we is lactose. We all eat all that cheese. Karen, just Uber Eats me. She's in the trial. Look at her. She don't cross the legs like it's on the motherboard at church. Girl, that shit ain't innocent. You done raped the whole turkey. Melted butter. Baked for 4 hours. Oh, look at it.
I appreciate you. And make sure that sweet November that your turkeys don't look like that in November. Make sure that don't happen. We appreciate that. But finish your soliloquy, Larry, about Cleopatra Jones and the great blaxploitation movies of the old day.
Yeah, I just think they're great movies in a lot of ways that, you know, a lot of people would look back on them and not think of them as high art. Ooh. I think a lot of people look back on them and realize that they were telling stories of communities that were being ignored, and they were telling our stories in our ways, and that was one thing that was really fantastic about watching those movies. You got to see, you know, people talked about you didn't get to see back in the day a lot of black heroes. It was like back in the day, it was like if you saw a black person in the movies, they were a mammy or, you know, or some maid, or they were a prostitute or a criminal. Well, in these movies, we got to see black heroes. We got to see Cleopatra Jones as a secret agent. And we got to see, you know, Shaft, who was a hero running around saving people in the community. We got to see the good cops. We got to see the We got to see the good heroes, the ones that were protecting people in the community. That was one of those things I think that was important about those movies, that it gave us good representation.
And I agree with Fillmore Pockets. Proud Mary.
I was about to ask you about that, B.A.
That movie was super trash.
Man, what about The Last Shaft? Let me tell y'all my hidden bias about The Last Shaft. Samuel L. Jackson's son in The Last Shaft.
I don't like him.
I hate that dude.
I shouldn't say I don't like him. I don't like him trying to play a tough guy.
He ruined Independence Day for me. Independence Day was one of my all-time favorite movies, so I was actually looking forward to the second version, whether they had Will Smith or not. Then we get him up there, and I was just like, man, I couldn't take him seriously. And I couldn't take him seriously in Shaft either. And Proud Mary, I was rolling my eyes. I don't like that whole. I don't like him. He seems very, very soft. He's one of those dudes that I think would be better in like I don't know, maybe some sort of rom-com or something, because he seems soft.
Larry, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if the dude. I'm not sure if he's gay or not, but he has a sort of a soft, effeminate sort of, but not quite effeminate. He reminds me of. He reminds me of a black version. He reminds me of a black version of what's that dude that used to be married to Elizabeth Hurley? Hughes.
There you go. Nathan made a great point. He's the speed guy on The Boys, and I actually like him in that role. So I got to
that's fine.
I got to take some of that back. But Larry, you done put my man into the Terrence J category. He's like, he just needs to do rom-coms and shit. God,
yeah, I can't remember the dude's name. What was the guy who did that rom-com with the British dude? He did that rom-com with Julia Roberts, where they were in England. Oh man, I can't remember the name of it. Hugh Grant. Bucky's coming through for me tonight. Thank you, Bucky. Bucky Grant
always be coming through.
Yeah.
And I sure want to know, is this Bucky from Falcon Winter Soldier, or is this Bucky from Captain America Civil War? Which Bucky?
It could be Bucky from Flavor of Love.
Okay.
You know.
Cool. Well, we're gonna move on.
But I will say though, he reminds me of a black Hugh Grant. Like that's his lane. That's the lane that I think he needs to be in for a little while, because he's too soft to be playing these, to try and play some hard dude. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, I feel you. So B. Avery, you know me and Larry got to take a victory lap on you and E-Man, right?
Oh, really? What's that about?
So you shouldn't have asked, my brother. So Netflix is getting ready to have a zombie apocalypse movie that's coming out next week. Stars Dave Bautista and our boy from Power, Amari Hardwick. Okay. Let me take this off the screen because I need to look you in your eyes. I need to see your eyes.
Look me in
You
the
remember
eyes.
we was having a discussion, and me and Larry told you that because I own Netflix stock, I listened in on some of these investor meetings that they have, and me and Larry both told you Netflix is making plans to open up theaters because they want to seek theater revenue plus streaming revenue.
Okay.
And we also mentioned that they're probably going to start beta testing their movies in theaters overseas. Well, guess what, B. Avery? That shit is coming now. They get ready to put this movie in the theater next week, a week before it drops on Netflix. Larry, you get the floor first, because my brother, when we say things, they happen on this channel. Just like we said, we're gonna get $250,000. We're gonna get a contract for either radio or network TV by the end of this year. Watch it happen. Take the floor, Larry.
Congratulations.
Man, I'm telling you,
ain't nothing confirmed yet, B. Avery.
I think it's just a matter of time. I think it's just a matter of time before you grab your phone, you have your Netflix app open, and you scan to get entrance into your movie to go see a Netflix film. I think it's just a matter of time before you can go do that and see it on the big screen. That's if they get the big screens open. I think one of those reasons why is because the theaters are going to be so desperate to get people in those seats. You know, they're going to do whatever they have to do. And I think that's going to be one of the ways they do it. And if it doesn't work that way with the current theater companies, it may just be that Netflix says, we don't need you. We'll just bypass you and open our own theaters and do it that way for ourselves.
That's exactly what we said. Let me get in this super chat from, by the way, my brother, I love that name, or my sister. Fill More Pockets. Love the name. Let me give you something to say thank you, because we're always grateful when you guys come through and hook a brother up. And since we just got finished talking about blaxploitation, does this count?
I'm gonna try to do a little poetry for y'all. It's an original piece written by me, Fly Guy. And I want to dedicate this piece to all you players and all you ladies out there. The name of this piece is called My Bitch Better Have My Money. Bitch better have my money. Through rain, sleet, or snow.
That was a Shakespeare.
My hoe better have my money.
I'm telling you, that boy's a genius. Tell it.
Not half, not some, but all my cash. Because if she don't, I'm gonna put my foot dead in her ass.
Oh my God.
Does that count as blaxploitation, Larry? Does that count?
Yeah, that counts.
Not half, not some.
Not some, but all my cash.
Oh.
So, B. Avery, what do you think about this news?
We do not condone violence. We just need to put that out there as a disclaimer.
Yeah, we don't, and it's in the video description as well. So, B. Avery, what do you think about this? And look, here's the write-up on it. In a first, Netflix will release its upcoming zombie movie, Army of the Dead, in hundreds of theaters a week before its streaming debut. Cinemark, the third largest U.S. movie theater chain, said Tuesday it will show the Zack Snyder directed film at more than 200 of its theaters starting May 14th, which is 7 days after my birthday, by the way. Variety reported it will play in about 600 theaters in all, including at smaller theater chains such as Landmark and Alamo Drafthouse. I've never heard of those. It will not play at the nation's two biggest chains, AMC and Cineworld Regal Cinemas, according to Variety. B. Avery, do you see the world is coming the way me and Larry said? Do you see the world is turning the corner?
No, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess. This is cool. I don't want theaters to die at all. I want them to live on forever, and they will. So this is promising. I think it debuts on Netflix like regular on the, is it the 31st or the end of the month? So is it only a week or 2 weeks before?
A week.
Okay. I mean, that's cool. I just wonder, I don't know though, man. Like, do you really think people are going to run to the theater and they can see it a week later at home? Because it's kind of different from the HBO Max thing. Am I tripping? Can y'all hear echo? Is that my fault?
Yeah, I hear a little bit.
Let me see if I can try to fix that. But I don't know, man. I mean, are people really going to go to the theater to check it out a week before it comes out on Netflix? I'm not sure.
I think some will, because we still got a lot of people like you and E-Man and other professionals in this field that want to have the theater experience. We still have those individuals that want to have the full theater experience. But the problem is you've got a whole slew of us that would rather watch it at home when you've got a whole wall that's a TV with surround sound and your couches that extend your feet up above your head, like at my house. And you really don't need to go to the damn theater unless you're just trying to stunt. But there are professionals who do this for a living, like you, B. Avery, that might want to go to the theater and get that popcorn and pay the price of gas for the popcorn.
Yeah, I'm just trying to also just make sense of the deal and like what their end goal is.
Oh, let me put something back on the screen for you. But before we do, because I got a little info about what they're going to do. Let me shout out Carbro. You came through for a brother, and let me give you this one because we are very, very grateful.
When you just talk about practice, we sitting here, I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice. I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice, man. I mean, how silly is that, man? We're talking about.
Hey, man, I'm sorry. I don't mean to kill the mood, kill the vibe, but help me understand that he was an idiot for that statement, correct?
Who? Allen Iverson?
Allen Iverson?
I don't know. There was a mix. There are people that have mixed feelings about it.
Yeah, it was very mixed. It was very, 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 very mixed.
There was I think it's a 30 for 30 doc they did on him, and they talked about it, and it really did explain it better. I don't remember everything they said, but after I watched it, I was like, okay, I get it, because they really tried to portray that as if he was someone who just didn't care about practice and thought he was above it. And it really wasn't that. It was they took that clip because they got him in one. You know, he's one of those dudes that was one of them street dudes that was very raw and open, and they caught him in that sort of moment, and they just ran with it.
And they basically was trying to pit him against the coach at that time.
Because it does seem arrogant of him, like just from that clip, you know.
Right? No. It was basically a spat between him and the coach was Larry Brown at the time. And Allen Iverson had just had some injuries and a whole lot of other stuff. And the particular game that they're referencing, Allen Iverson dropped like 35, 40 points in that game. Yeah. And the reporter asked him about practice. So that's kind of where it came from. But like I said, they've got a great 30 for 30 on him and Michael Vick. I encourage everybody to watch it. But getting back to what we're talking about with Netflix, check this out. Netflix has had a continuous relationship with movie theaters who have fought to maintain exclusive 90-day windows for movies and have largely resisted giving Netflix access to screens. But the pandemic has shaken the cinematic business model, and theater chains have been experimenting with changes, including shortening theatrical windows, and in the case of AT&T's Warner Brothers, eliminating them almost entirely streaming new movies for 31 days, starting the same day as it hit theaters. The industry is slowly rebounding after the pandemic forced theaters to close for almost a year. Most movie theaters nationwide have reopened. And to buffer Netflix point, B. Avery, they are in the works. And they told shareholders, don't even worry about dividends when we're profitable. Don't even worry about that, because we're going to take that profit and we're going to be opening Netflix experience movie theaters. And some of the stuff Larry mentioned about how you can just come up there with your Netflix account, get it scanned. And they're even talking about trying to figure out how to get you some free beverages and popcorn. Yeah.
That's what you mean, Larry. You mean take your Netflix account and go up to the movie theater and be able to access the movie?
Yeah.
Without paying for it?
No, you've already paid for it.
Yeah, you got your subscription. They're talking about.
So as long as you have a Netflix subscription, you can go into the movie theaters and pay for and see the movie.
Absolutely, but the way they're going to do it is, if you're going to be doing that, you're going to be paying more than what it costs now. They're going to be having these tiered payment systems where you can go see a movie once, 3-4 times a month, and they're told the shareholders that this is the vision of what they're going to do instead of paying dividends. So
okay, that may work, but I'm just saying if they have different tiers, right? But if it's just a regular subscription,
no,
that would be idiotic.
No, they're not going to do that. No, they're going to have an upcharge for a subscription service.
Man,
but you got to think. To me, this is so smart, because all these other programs, what do you got? AMC, everybody tried to have that subscription service, and they could never really and truly find a sweet spot. One company had you paying $10.99, and you could go see 3 movies a week, and that failed. Then somebody came out and was trying to do one for $15.99, and you could go see 2-3 movies a week, and that failed. And then I think you had the A-list that was charging $30 a month, and that was working, but the problem was they was breaking even, not making profit. So you already going to be, hopefully they're saying they're going to try to do this because Netflix is supposed to be profitable by the end of next year. And they're going to take their profits, and instead of paying dividends, they're going to reinvest in getting these theaters up, having a different tier subscription service that will allow you to get the streaming plus be able to go see a couple of movies a month. They said they're going to be doing it in a month.
I'm looking up right now who the production company. Okay.
Here's the thing that's interesting about this. I don't know what the budget is on this, but you know, people have been talking about how much money Netflix. 70 million. So you think about million. So you think about this. You run it in the theaters, and you have some contingency thing on it that says, okay, if it makes 20 million during the first week, they'll run it a second week. If it makes another 20, they'll run it a third, whatever. And you know, you figure if it's $70 million, if you put it in the theater for a week or two and it recoups half of your production budget, that just puts Netflix that much closer to being profitable faster. Yeah, you know, because right now they're wholly dependent on subscriptions to make all that money back, and if you're making some of that back in the theaters right away, you know.
And then they're also talking about B. Avery. I mean, I've never really been a big Netflix fan, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm just keeping it real, but they're also talking about who they're thinking about partnering with in they're not just trying to do a regular theater. They're talking about partnering with like Domino's, Papa John's, and all these other people in their concession area. And then they're talking about who they're going to try to partner with to be sustaining ads. And guess who's at the top of their list for ad revenue in their theater chains? Walmart.
Yeah, there you go.
This is what they're telling the shareholders. I
hate hearing the name Walmart, but anyway.
Me too. Me too. I'd rather them do business with Target. But I mean, people see what I see as an investor with what Netflix could do by creating their own ecosystem. I mean, this would be something we've never seen before. Instead of you went from Netflix mailing you a DVD to a stream service, and now pulling you into the theater with the stream service.
Yeah. On another note, man, I remember when Redbox came out, I thought that was like the hottest shit alive. I was like, these people are genius, you know, but now it's obsolete, you know.
Yeah, man. Because you know, one thing they say about good CEOs and everything, you got to be a visionary. You've got to be able to do something that works now, and you can also remix it or sustain it for 20 years beyond that. And
I mean, Redbox was genius at the time. It's
at
just
the time, yes.
It's just the whole DVD, Blu-ray model just sort of died out with streaming because internet speeds got so high that you can actually stream.
Right.
But they're still there. They're still they have their streaming service now. They have their app and their streaming service, and they still have their boxes in stores so that you can rent, because not everybody has high-speed internet where you can go and stream a HD or 4K movie. Not everybody can, and for some people, and even then it's still cheaper. Like, for instance, if you want to go rent a movie today that's a new release, it may cost you $5.99 to go rent it on iTunes or on a Google Play. You can go to Redbox and get that same movie for like $1.25 or $2 for the day.
Hey, man, I hate to have to do this, but there's a spider in here, and I'm gonna have to handle my business real quick. So Larry, take over the show. I'm gonna have to handle my business.
I thought he was gonna smash the spider with the shield. I was like, wait a minute, but I get it now. That was just a prop, a nice little exit. You know what I'm saying? Nice with the Green Ranger back there. But one of y'all was saying earlier though, I think he said Larry take over the show. I'm not talking.
Go for it, man.
No, I was gonna say, man, I think that's dope as hell. The Domino's and Pizza Hut or whatever you were saying, that's just, I don't know why they're not doing that now, But they that's pretty cool. they really do need to update these theaters to really get people back on. I mean, like every theater needs to be like IMAX quality, you know, D-box,
right?
You know, that stuff like that to get people ready to go back, because this pandemic has spoiled everybody, including myself. You know?
Yeah.
You know what I was thinking, like where my theater is at the mall where I'm at is the theater is right upstairs in the same area as the food court. And my thought is if you're a movie theater, why not just put a food court in your theater? Like, I understand that you want all the concession money, but at the same time, you have guaranteed money if you're basically leasing out space in your theater for a food court. So you have a McDonald's and a Burger King and a whatever else you want, maybe a little miniature 7-Eleven in there or something. You know, you have a Panda Express over there. You have all these little fast food joints inside your concession area so people can get their food, and then that's that. You don't have to worry about necessarily buying popcorn and soda and maintaining all this stuff, because they're maintaining it because it's their little business or big business. You're just leasing out the space.
And in the states that they're legal, I'm gonna say this until the day I die, the states that are legal, they need to have movie theaters where you can smoke weed in it. Or whatever, whether it's outside or inside, that would make a effing killing. Are you serious?
The problem is in most states you can't smoke indoors anymore.
Indoor, right.
Bro. So it doesn't matter if it's weed or cigarettes, you just can't smoke indoors in most states.
Now you can get a special ordinance to do it, because when me and my wife went to Las Vegas like 2 years ago, we actually went on a marijuana tour. And some of these dispensaries have space in there where you can legitimately smoke. Now, granted, they are dispensary, but they have space in there where you can throw your feet up like a wine cellar or a cigar cellar. They get special ordinances so that you have it. So maybe you have 1 or 2 theaters within the building that have special ordinance so that you can do that.
Or you can just set something up outside in some big field with a big ass projector. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hook it up all nice with some beanbag chairs, bro. I will be there.
So we're talking about the drive-ins again? Drive-in style?
Something like that.
I've been advocating that forever.
Man.
You have.
You know how many, like, majority of weed smokers don't go to the movies. You know what I'm saying? They don't, but they will, you know, like I'm more in the middle, but you know.
Imagine this, B. Avery. Imagine this. You have the drive. You know, this is mind you, it has to be decent weather. You can't have the theaters outside in the middle of November when it's raining. But even if it's cold, imagine you're out there. You have the nice chairs, and people go to the movies, and then they can pay $20 to go buy themselves a nice blanket. And you go in there, you buy your movie ticket, $20, and you get a blanket. What is he doing over there?
I was concerned myself.
Man, I thought I killed this little bastard. What the?
He's going Looney Tunes, you know what I'm saying?
He's going again.
Hey, okay, shout out to the super chat. Netflix is always looking for ways to raise the price. Virtual reality will be the next look. Man, I'm telling, they got one of those in Texas, 10-15 minutes from my crib.
The virtual reality joints?
They have a virtual reality thing.
Hydra. This is a Hydra spider. What the fuck?
This dude here. Spider-Verse.
El Hydra.
You know what I'm saying? Larry, I went, what we in 2000, I went January 1st of 2020. It was so fun. They had one called Avengers Assemble. Like, it was dope as hell, man. It was worth the money. It was worth the experience. So there you go there. I probably don't want to smoke weed while you're doing that, but everybody hit one in the chat if you want to smoke at the movie theaters. Let's see how many smokers we got in the building.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
The only reason why I don't think that the virtual reality stuff, they're gonna start hitting it.
Don't nobody want to out themselves.
I got a super
there they
chat.
go. It's coming through.
Yeah,
got a super chat from Mad Mont. Let me give you something to say. Thank you, Mad Mont.
We took care of that while you were swinging your shield.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Appreciate y'all. I appreciate that.
Wait. Is Tressa C in the building? Where you at, Tressa C?
Tressa C is in the building.
Yeah,
you know.
What Mooch at?
Mooch.
Buzz says no smoke. Buzz didn't smoke because Buzz was a cop, you know?
Right.
He's a retired cop, so you know he's got to keep some level of something going on there.
Blue Devil Babe, you know. Hell yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got one more story for you guys, and this is the real reason I brought B. Avery up here. Besides the bonding, besides the fellowship with the brothers, B. Avery, you brought this to my attention. I gave you a shout out in my video the other day when Marvel dropped all that Phase 4 stuff. You wanted to know where the hell was Blade? Okay,
where the hell was Blade?
Where the hell was Blade? Because there are so many wonderful story arcs we could do with a Blade series. It's unbelievable. So let me show you what I found out about Blade. Check this out. Marvel has reportedly pushed the start date for Mahershala Ali starring Blade movie from later this year into summer 2022. It's been quite some time since Kevin Feige announced that Mahershala Ali will play Blade in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it looks like we finally know when the studio is getting started on the upcoming film. Back in February this year, Watchmen writer Stacey, I'm not going to say the last name, came aboard the project to write the script, and according to the Hollywood Reporter, Marvel Studios wants to spend more time to work on the Blade script. So, oh Lord, B. Avery like to disappeared off the screen.
My bad.
B. Avery, this was all you. Now they're saying this is going to be a Phase 5 movie because they had to push it back. Does that alarm you that they're pushing it back?
Well, not in a bad way. I just think that they're not sure what they want to do with the property. Because if they're filming next July, you know, that means that the movie is going to be coming out in 2023. But I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm just not as enthused. I mean, when it was initially announced, I was like, oh my God, a Blade is coming. But I'm sorry, I'm not there yet with Mahershala as Blade yet. You know, I mean, I'm sure he can do a good job. He's a phenomenal actor. I really want Wesley to be, you know, come back as Blade and somehow, you know.
Didn't you say you wouldn't mind Wesley coming back and being the Whistler? Would you be cool with that?
I mean, I'd be cool with it, but I would rather him come back as the titular character. You know,
okay. Let me ask you this then: what if they do a multiverse the way they about to do Spider-Man? Because I can just tell you,
I'm with it.
I can just tell you right now, and they're trying to find someone who can play that role for at least 10 years. Now, Mahershala Ali, he's no spring chicken, but he's younger than Wesley. He's way younger than Wesley.
Yeah, because Wesley's, I think, nearly 60 or something, isn't he?
Yeah, they getting ready to make a Expendables movie, and in order to be in Expendables, your ass got to be 55 plus.
Stupid ass. No, but about this though, like, more I think about it, I'm kind of glad they didn't give us a date specifically, because most likely it's going to shift anyway. Man, they got a hell of a lot of stuff on their plate right now.
Yeah.
And so let's just make sure all of that is. I mean, I'm happy it's coming, of course. I mean, and Blade is a badass and he's black.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm happy about that, but yeah, I'm glad that they're it's not set in stone right now. You know.
Okay. Larry, how you feel about the issues going on with Blade and the pushback?
I mean, I'm looking forward to it because I like Blade a lot. When I look at Mahershala Ali, though, I think to myself, like, he's gonna have to bulk up. Like, if he's gonna play Blade, he needs to put on probably a good 30 pounds of muscle. Because if you look at Wesley when he played Blade, he looked like a straight up action figure. Dude was on swole when he was playing Blade. And I always think of Blade as being a very juiced up, muscular type superhero. And Mahershala Ali's more of a sort of slimline type dude. So he's going to have to bulk up a bit. And, I mean, he's a fantastic actor. I mean, we've seen him play, you know, numerous types of roles. And I think he can probably pull it off. I mean, he has the look for it. I mean, the dude is legit. He's won an Oscar. He's a legit actor. I'm gonna sort of hold off and reserve judgment and say I'll give him a shot. But yeah, I'll give him a shot. That's where I'm kind of at. I mean, if I was casting him, if I was casting for Blade, obviously I would probably want Wesley back. The problem is if you're trying to move forward for another 10 years or 15 years in the MCU, you don't want a 58-year-old actor starting off playing this role again, because then you just don't have the longevity.
No, because Mahershala ain't no young chicken either, is he?
Well, he's 40-something. He's 46. He's 46. So you can get at least a good 10, 12 years out of him.
Yeah, 10 at best. And here's the thing, B. Avery. I know the Blade comic stories, man. These are great stories. So when people think of Blade, they think it's always him dealing with vampires type stuff, right? But that's just not what Blade does. Blade deals with the supernatural evils too. Like he teams up with Punisher. He teams up with Ghost Rider. He teams up with Morbius, for crying out loud.
Bruh, I didn't know he teamed up with. I know he fought Morbius. I didn't know they teamed up.
They wound up teaming, but check this out. They teamed up to fight Dr. Doom. Man, they teamed up with the Howling Commandos once they got their powers. I mean, here's another one, and we talked about this in our private chat. He could wind up teaming up with someone big to go against Null, the creator of the symbiote, and the God Killer, who hates superheroes. He hates superheroes. They could do that team up. Man.
Wait, you said the God Killer.
God Killer. That's going to be the villain in Thor.
Okay, right. I thought he hated. I thought he hated gods. I didn't know he hated superheroes.
He hated superheroes who thought they were gods, so he hated any being that had powers that equals being a god. So Thor would count.
Right. And you were talking about Midnight Suns is that team.
Yeah, Midnight Suns. Man, Lord have mercy. And so in essence, you could say Blade is similar because Blade is a vampire who walks in the day. So that was some of the beef he had with him. And of course, the symbiote wanted to get on Blade because it wanted to get some of the power that he had as well. And so Null thought that he could be a threat to the symbiote race. He comes down and they have a little team up with God Killer. Oh my God. Oh boy. Whew. Lord.
All right, I got a geek out question for you. A little moment here. And I just thought about this. Who will win? Captain America or Blade in the fight?
Blade. It's not even, that one ain't even hard. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because everything Captain America can do, Blade can do, and do it a little faster, and he can do it in complete pitch black. Captain America can't do that.
Right on. I love it.
So I have a question for you then.
Oh Lord.
If Blade was to feed on Captain America,
he's gonna beat up Killmonger too.
No, but he question. Well, he wouldn't beat up Killmonger.
He would beat the hell out of Killmonger.
He wouldn't get with Killmonger. But if he was to feed on Captain America, would he get those super soldier powers since he's taking in his blood?
That's a good question.
It is.
That's a good question.
Very good question.
I don't know. I honestly don't
know.
I
never thought of that.
But this is what I do know. There have been times when Dracula tried to feed on certain individuals that had powers, like the Hulk, for example. He tried to feed on the Hulk, and it worked for about a split second, and then the Gamma started to kill him. The Gamma literally in his veins, at first it gave him the strength and all that, but as the Gamma started coursing in Dracula's veins, it started to kill him because it basically was the equivalent of sunlight in his veins. It just depends on how the writer would do that one. I don't know. But they would never fight each other because both of them have so much integrity. B. Avery, you like people that have integrity and strong codes. There would be no way they'd put them against each other. I don't think. But Marvel's done some crazy stuff.
Right on.
Yeah, man.
Well, I'm looking forward to Blade. I like vampire stuff. I was a big fan of Blade when it came out, and I'm looking forward to it. Whoever they put in there. I mean, personally, just like all the stuff that you were just talking about, all these different people he's teamed up with and he's fighting, I think that it's another reason why they should have cast a younger actor, someone who's 30, because part of the thing with vampires are that they're immortal. They don't age. It's like whatever age they are when they're turned, that's where they stay forever. And so you want to have an actor who's going to look the same throughout his entire run. And so if you find a black person who's 30, they're going to look the same from the time they're 30 to the time they're 50. So you can get a good 20-year run out of someone like that.
Well, B. Avery done got this thing kicking off. So before we get out of here, we got to answer some of these questions, Larry. So check this out. B. Avery. Bucky wants to know, and Bucky, we should be asking you. You was on the show with Falcon and Winter Soldier, the show Alter Ego. He wants to know who's going to be the big bad of the MCU for this next phase 4. B. Avery, that's a good question. I've seen Kang thrown around. I can tell you who I think is not going to be. It's not going to be Galactus. I can tell you that. Not in phase 4.
Because, yeah, Fantastic Four got to come. Kang is going to be introduced, but I would be disappointed if he was like the big bad, because he's just too badass. I think they need to save him for later, you know? Because I think it was one iteration of the comics where he was trying to fight Ultron, and he was bringing in everybody from all over the time of space to, you know, from past to future to fight him, and he kept losing, and it was tearing a rift in the whole multiverse or something. Lamont, you may have told me that yourself. I can't remember.
Yeah, but, they tore a rift in the multiverse.
Yeah, Kang. I don't think it'll be Kang this early, but shoot, maybe the Masters of Evil, maybe the Thunderbolts. I don't know.
So when you think about, here's the evidence. If we was putting together this mystery, we seen what's supposed to be in phase 4. Wakanda, the Marvels, all right, Fantastic Four, the Eternals. Who is a galactic force that would need people from each one of those teams to come together? Kang is definitely one person that could be that.
Graviton?
Nah,
yeah, he's not.
I mean, there are some people that could take him on earthly that could probably do some damage with him. But personally, since you mentioned him, I would love to see him and Magneto get into it. Oh my God, Lord, Kato, be more careful. My Woody might grow, because that would be some good be on that one.
It would.
But I don't know. I honestly do not know who could be the big looming bad person for phase 4. I think Kang is a great guess, but I don't know who else you could come up with that could be behind that. But
I think it's gonna be Zemo that pulls together a whole bunch of different types of bad dudes to create a collection of bad people to fight the Avengers and all the new superheroes. I think it's gonna be Zemo.
Oh yeah, that's definitely coming with the Masters of Evil or Thunderbolts. But
yeah, that's gonna happen. But
I don't think we need one though. I don't think we need a big bad for 4. I think we just need to have these individual stories. You know, expand the MCU, and we can worry about that in phase 5. You know,
they might do it like that. Now, the rumor is out there, y'all, and this could be good. Some of y'all have seen the Phoenix Saga, the X-Men Phoenix Saga. And do y'all remember the Shi'ar Empire from that Phoenix Saga?
No.
They're talking about bringing the Shi'ar Empire and the chick that Professor X was dating, turning her evil and letting her get that Incron crystal. And then you would have Gladiator, who's basically Superman without the eye beams and all that. I could see that, but would y'all want to see that? Because another thing they're talking about, they kind of want a woman to be the next big bad adversary. And I mean, she get that.
They better do better than Cheetah.
Oh, they're gonna do better. I mean,
yeah, man, yeah, we had Hella.
Yeah, Hella was great.
Yeah, but we still gotta get Enchantress, but I think Enchantress is a step down from Hella.
Yeah, but she'll be good though.
Yeah,
she'll be good. I would love to see her up there. She would definitely be good.
I don't want to see no Shi'ar Empire though until like after Guardians 3 or whatever. I also kind of think Thanos is gonna come back, but
yeah, he's coming back. He's got to.
I'm thinking
he's over there chilling.
I'm thinking they're gonna be like, he never did destroy all of the life in the universe. He only destroyed it in the galaxy, you know. And I mean, I don't know, but yeah, I don't want to go too far down that rabbit hole. But
here's a great point. It took 3 phases before we saw Thanos in action. Basically, that's what you're saying, B. Avery.
Yeah.
We're gonna get phase 4, maybe phase 5. Then phase 6 is when whoever's pulling strings, if they go that route again, they'll be revealed in some movies.
I honestly think we saw Thanos too early.
So here's my question about Thanos. So when he snapped his finger and the blip happened, did that happen throughout all of the universes, or did it just happen in this one particular one? Like, if you're talking about the multiverse, did the other people in other parts of the multiverse, did they also blip?
No.
I'm
counting on it only happened in the 616, not the
whole
multiverse.
Right. Yeah. So in the comics, Larry, they call our multiverse the 616.
Because if you would have
whose area code is that? If you would have
did the multiverse, you would have had to have what's this called, a 3-head dude, or 3 or 4-head dude, the living tribunal. He would have had to come here and be like, "What's going on?" You know,
now, B. Avery, would you like a story where they turn the living tribunal bad? Because the living tribunal is God. I mean, the living tribunal looks at you, and whatever he's thinking happens to you. And I don't know how you fight that. I mean, in the comics, you had to buddy up with this dude, literally. So, I mean, would you be upset if they turned the living tribunal into? He's not really a good character, but he ain't bad either. But what if they made him evil?
If they made him evil, that would be the end of the MCU. Like, nobody would beat him. Like, nobody would win. Nobody. You couldn't even if you had Galactus and the Phoenix Force and whoever else.
You know how you would beat him, B. Avery? You would have to cross over with DC and get the Anti-Monitor.
Yeah. Now, I know Thanos beat him one time, but I forgot that story. It's like what Thanos became the one above. Thanos got the Infinity Gauntlet, all the stones, and then he absorbed Galactus to get all that knowledge. Then he absorbed death, and then he absorbed infinity and eternity, and he just started going around. And then he found some weapon that was stronger than the Infinity Gauntlet called something. It was some device that kept the multiverse intact, but he was able to absorb that as well. It was nuts.
So basically, Living Tribunal got stuck. He couldn't go through any of the multiverses because Thanos had that weapon.
Yeah. Nobody's beating him.
No,
nobody's beating the Living Tribunal except for the one above all. That's the only person.
That's it. And they was trying to write the crossover with DC, and they was gonna let the Anti-Monitor beat them, but they never did it.
Yeah,
never did it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is enough. Y'all seen it all in here. I've been attacked by spiders that look like Hydra, Hell Hydra and shit, and I had to pull out the shield. We done talked up blaxploitation.
You didn't bring up the new Game of Thrones thing.
I gotta say something for Friday on my birthday. I want to see if there's going to be any more information coming out about that. Okay. But ladies and gentlemen, we do got Game of Thrones. They're getting ready to get some stuff rolling with that. If you're not watching Godfather of Harlem, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, you're missing
fire
out.
Episode this past Sunday. It was fire. Really good.
How many episodes are they in season 2 so far?
Just 3.
3? Okay. I got to the halfway point of season 1, but I'll catch up.
Oh, man. You in for a treat.
There's a few people have been asking about Black Superman. There's been a few people asking about that.
I got that story. I'm thinking about doing that on Friday too, because I'm a little mad at the way they're going, and I don't even want to spoil it for y'all. But we will definitely be talking about that. But the rumor mill is They're going to be doing a black Superman as Kal-El, and they're not going to do the main Superman story when he's black, where he gets to be the president and all that. I don't know what we're doing here. I don't know why you would take that away, but I'm not WB. Because I'm not WB. Ladies and gentlemen, please subscribe to everybody's channel up here. B. Avery, sooner or later, going to be pulling out that bleach bottle. Larry is reviewing everything. He would even review your mama dirty socks if you let him, because he's just that talented. And rock with us on Friday. We'll definitely be back. I'm going to be here on my birthday, so don't worry. And I won't be doing nothing crazy, but we'll definitely be in the building. So mask up, invest, and until that next Sexy as Hell video, we'll see you.
Peace.